What's up, guys? This is not Coach Tomlin, and if you're new here, welcome. We're doing everything Steelers updates, matchup predictions, game recaps, and even some tape talk. Grab a seat, get ready for the ride. Today, we're going to do the preview for the 25-26 season. The 25-26 preview might sound a little familiar. Stop me if you heard this before. Hall of Fame quarterback, question marks about the offensive line. Is the run game going to show up? Sounds just like last year, doesn't it? For some reason, the Steelers are all in on Aaron Rodgers to save the day for the 25-26 season. It sounds like they are really under the belief that this guy is going to lead us to the promised land this year. I guess I'll have to just wait and see how that turns out. Do I find it to be coincidental that Aaron's possible last year? He's going to be playing against the AFC East, used to play for the Jets, remember, and the NFC North, obviously, Green Bay Packers. So our schedule is action-packed against the NFC North and the AFC East this season, with our regular division foes, of course. And then there is a mixture in there of, I believe, the Chargers, and then there's another team in there in that schedule, but we're going to get to that in a second. So at the time of this recording, Cam Hayward has not gotten his extension. So we'll see how that turns out for first week or beyond. Not sure if he's going to really continue with the standoff, but we'll see where that goes, if they're going to pay him or not. I think they should pay him, but we'll see how that turns out. We're looking to see what Broderick Jones is going to look like. He looked pretty good in the preseason. Looks like he's getting more confidence with more reps. So we're going to see how that turns out. The offensive line looked pretty good for the most part. But again, it's only preseason. Nothing to get super excited about here. We're going to see how that offensive line, with another year under their belt, still very young. We'll see how these things turn out. Broderick Jones, I believe, is in his third or fourth year. We got Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier. Those guys were rookies last year. They did some real work out there. Troy Fautanu missed his whole rookie season for the most part. He's at the right tackle spot. Left guard, I don't know if Isaac's going to be ready for the season yet, but I believe we have Spencer Anderson in there, and he looks a little shaky. So we'll see what the offensive line is going to look like. Now, obviously, the glaring issue still is the wide receiver position. The team seems pretty confident with rolling out there with DK at the 1, Calvin Austin at the 2. Wide receiver 3 still seems to be up for grabs. Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson, these guys had some great camps, so we're going to see how that looks. Other than that, I still think that the Steelers are going to make a wide receiver move of some sort, but clock is ticking. I don't think that's going to be a week 1 thing. So we're probably going to roll out there with these guys. The tight end core, obviously, Jonnu Smith, Pat Fryermuth, Darnell Washington, even Connor Hayward. You know, he's been in some packages as well. Aaron's got some pass catchers out here. They're not going to be traditionally in a wide receiver sense, maybe not reliant on the wide receivers, but he's got some pass catchers, so he should be able to do what he can do so long as he has the protection. In order to really make that protection stronger, we need a stronger running game. Got to get out the gate running the ball much better this season in order to have some success. Caleb Johnson seems to have some pretty good vision. He doesn't have the breakaway speed, but I've seen him make some pretty nice cuts in the hole, and he seems to have pretty great vision. Jaylen Warren, we know what he's capable of. I don't know that he's going to be the lead back by the end of the season, but we know what he's capable of, man. Even if he's coming off the bench, he's still a flash. He just got an extension, first Steelers running back extended, I believe, in the Tomlin era, actually. So glad to have him on board through 2027. And looking forward to seeing what that running game is going to do. Kenny Gainwell, he's pretty good too, you know. So we got 3 running backs that are capable. I don't care who gets it done. Run the ball and run it well, please. It's going to make things much easier for this offense as well as the defense. Like I said, defensive line, we're going in possibly without our 2 main defensive tackles there. Cam Hayward and the rookie Harmon. He's going to be out for the first week, I believe. They said possibly first month, but we'll see how it goes with that knee sprain. But we saw Y.A. Black. He's become a fan favorite very quickly. I think we do have that D-line depth to be okay. But please, bring the cavalry in. We don't want to do that for too long. You know, we know how we come in on the edges. Trent Jordan Watt, Herbig, Jack Sawyer's in the mix. As long as we get a good rotation there, hopefully we can put some pressure on these quarterbacks and make some splash plays. But we got the linebacking core with Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen, Cole Holcomb. Hopefully those guys can all stay healthy and keep getting after these backs. You know, those big guys up front, keep those unclogging those lanes for those guys to be able to get down there, get downhill, make some tackles. Obviously, secondary has been revamped from last year. JPJ, he's actually little dog now. And I hope that put a chip on his shoulder. Jalen Ramsey, we know what he could do. Big play Slay, he's out there. Then we got Deshaun Elliott in the back end. Juan Thornhill, Super Bowl champ. So the secondary looks pretty solid. This defense looks on paper pretty elite. We got to take it from paper, put it to the field. In the offense, as long as they can stay on the field, not have to keep this defense on the field all season like they did last year, and I think we should be able to hold some teams to pretty low scoring games. Chris Boswell's back, you know, the Wizard of Boz, my guy, the Golden Boot. You know what I mean? Corliss Waitman, he beat out Cam Johnston for the punting job. My guy has put together a pretty great campaign last year. So worst case scenarios with these 4th downs, he can actually flip the field with his leg. So hopefully he keeps that consistency up, and then, you know, the defense could do what they do, get the ball back. So we got a bye week, week 5. We also take a trip to Ireland this year and play in Dublin. So our schedule is set up, I say, pretty evenly. It's not as devastating on the back end of the schedule as it was last season, because as y'all saw, it got ugly pretty quickly. And so we start off week 1 at the Jets. I'll have a further breakdown video of that coming up in my next video. But I think that the Steelers go in to New York. They play against Justin Fields. And I believe the Steelers come out with a win for that game. Week 2, the home opener against the Seahawks. DK gets to play against his old team. So that should be fun. That should be a fun little storyline to follow that during that week. Sam Darnold, you know, Kenneth Walker, Jackson Smith and Jigba, you know, Cooper Kupp. Seahawks offense looks pretty decent, man. I think the Steelers come out with another dub there. And then we go on the road to New England. And so what I'll ask you guys to do is pause the video right now and go look at Mike Tomlin's record at New England. And you'll get the answer of what I think is about to happen there. That's going to be the Steelers' first loss of the season at New England. Then we go to Dublin, Ireland, against the Vikings. We got J.J. McCarthy and company. We're playing in Ireland. It's a Sunday morning game on our end, obviously, but I have to believe it to be a afternoon, evening game over there. I believe that the Steelers come out with a win, 3-1 going into the bye, feeling good. Rest those bones up. Rest them bones up good, man, because now we get into the schedule where AFC North football begins. Starts a little bit earlier for us this season than it did last year. So we got the Cleveland Browns at home. So are we going to see Joe Flacco at this point? Familiar foe? Or are we going to see a different quarterback at the helm by then? It doesn't matter. Steelers win. 4-1 at that point. Won't waste a lot of time with that. The issue now is Thursday Night Football at Cincinnati. I won't waste a lot of time with this one either. Pause the video. Go look at Mike Tomlin's record on Thursday Night Football on the road against the AFC North opponent. That's an L. 4-2 going into week 7. Then we got Sunday Night Football at home versus the Packers. After a little mini bye, Aaron gets to face his old team again. The team that he had his Hall of Fame career with. Micah's coming to town. Hopefully at this point, Broderick Jones has acclimated himself pretty well to that left side, because I know they're probably going to try to attack him the best they can. Packers are tough though, man. I think that's going to be a close one. Probably a L on that one. I'm going to give us an L against Green Bay, 4-3. Then we have a home game against the Colts. Are we going to see Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson at that point? Who knows? Jonathan Taylor, one of the best backs in the business. The same premise, man. As long as we can contain him, I think we'll be all right. I think we get out of there with the win, and we stopped a little losing streak real quick. 5-3. Week 10, we go to LA. Sunday Night Football versus the Chargers. This is nice. It's more like one of those afternoon games, because it's on the West Coast, so it's really like 5:20, I think, 3 hours. And so LA has been traditionally like a road home game. Like the Steelers fans love going out to LA. So like it's going to be loud in there. It's going to be like a home game away from home. Obviously, we're going to be playing against our old guy, Najee, if he's starting at that point. But Najee will be out there. So I think the Steelers can get out of there with a dub, as long as they keep a lid on McConkey. And I think we'll be all right. 6-3. Week 11 at home versus the Bengals. I think this is going to be a win for the Steelers. Cincinnati's defense, if they don't look no better than they have looked, I think that we have the home advantage in this one, and we'll get the dub in a high-scoring game. Defense makes one more play than their defense does, and we get out of there with the dub. So we're looking at 7-3. The 7-3 Steelers, man, look pretty good so far, right? Week 12 at Chicago. At a game that I hope to be going to, actually. I think Aaron goes and plays against a team in which he's been basically a majority owner of. The Bears. Defense rattles Caleb, causes a couple turnovers. We get the dub. 8-3. Things are looking great, man. 8-3. Things are looking great. And then they don't look great anymore. Buffalo. Week 13 versus Buffalo wins. Steelers are 8-4. And then we go to Baltimore week 14. Like I said, things were looking great. Last time Steelers played in Baltimore, TJ Watt tackled Derrick Henry more times when he didn't have the ball than when he did. And I saw what happened, right? Steelers are 8-5 going into week 15. Not bad at all. We got week 15 at home versus Miami. This is a reunion game for a bunch of our Steelers guys. So we got Ramsey, Skylar Thompson, Jonnu, Deshaun Elliott. So they give the Dolphins a warm welcome, show them around a little bit, and the home team gets the dub. 9-5. Steelers are 9-5 going into week 16. Going into Detroit week 16. That was a short-lived, fun situation that we had going on with that win. But I think that we're going to take this L going into Detroit while Jerome Bettis is watching. It's all right, man. We love you, Bus. But that's an L for the Steelers. 9-6. Week 17 at Cleveland. So we're talking about December football, the Turnpike rivalry. Possibly another snow globe matchup like the one we saw last year with Jameis. We don't know where the Steelers' run game is going to be at this point. Did they surprise us all? Are they efficient? It's been a long time since that bye week, probably, right? We're talking about like 12 weeks ago. You know, I think the Steelers do well against whatever rookie quarterback starting at that point. I think they get the dub. So we're looking at 10-6 going into week 18, home game versus the Ravens. So the Steelers being 10-6, we're looking at a team that's on the bubble for that possible wild card position, I'm guessing. And, you know, since the world has crowned the Ravens as the AFC champions this year, they'll probably be getting ready to rest everybody for week 18, right? So, you know, we'll go ahead and just count this as a dub. Psych. Snoop Huntley, the Pro Bowl quarterback. Not if he has anything to say about this. The Steelers, in the necessary must-win game, lay a stinker 10-7, and they have to wait and see if a team's going to lose to help them get into the playoffs. That's how I got our season going. 10-7 record, hoping for the best. But the thing about that is, a lot of times it does tend to go the Steelers' way. So guess what? The Steelers get in on a wild card. The Steelers get in on a wild card, and things are going to get interesting at this point. Aaron makes it into the playoffs. He has to go to frozen Kansas City, where he battles the current GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, and whatnot. In an epic duel, the Steelers emerge victorious. Everybody is shell-shocked. The whole world is like going crazy right now. They got the Undertaker just lost WrestleMania face because of what just happened. Because guess what? Then the Steelers are going to go on the road to face snowy Buffalo against the MVP Josh Allen, and they shock the world again. They're on their way to the AFC Championship. You kidding me? Nobody ever thought that was going to happen. Then guess what? They got to go to Baltimore again. Y'all saw what happened last year in the playoffs against Baltimore, man. It wasn't good. Mr. Jackson, Mr. Henry, they tore everything up, man. They came out ready to roll. Not this time. Steelers lock up the run. Lamar is forced to pass. He ends up throwing 2 picks. Jalen Ramsey catches a pick to seal it. Steelers are going to the Super Bowl, bro. Like, you kidding me? We're going to the bowl now. Against who? The defending champs, man. Philly. Philly's there again. We talk about Pennsylvania Super Bowl. What's better than that? What better story is that? The Pennsylvania Super Bowl. And who you think I'm saying going to win that one? Don't be silly. Philadelphia is definitely taking an L on that one. Don't be silly, man. The 7th Lombardi Trophy coming home to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And during his speech, Aaron Rodgers finishes off by saying, all right, guys, let's go home. Then a spacecraft comes and beams him up with the Lombardi Trophy in his hand. And then he just flies off into space. Nobody ever sees him again, man. That's how the season's about to end. And I can't wait. I'll be stressed out. I have my heart monitor waiting, cussing at the TV every week. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited, man. Here we go, baby. See y'all next week.